I was going to make 2 points. I'll make 3. The first being to endorse the scale of what's being achieved and to give credit where it's due. 2 points I have, one is on Scoot and one is on the capital expenditure and trying to link it back to what we've just seen in terms of the initiatives. Let me take Scoot first. It's great to hear about Scoot, and Scoot has certainly had a big impact. I have a concern that Scoot consistently favours vehicle traffic, and that its increasing rollout and utilisation could be at odds with the target of protecting vulnerable road users. So we just heard how wonderful Scoot is. It also provides things like 2 minutes of red lights followed by 6 seconds for my 3-year-old to cross a dual carriageway. I'm assuming that that's to do with, well, you say no, but that's what happens, whether it's Scoot or not, I don't know. Sorry?
It does not do that.
So well, that is what happens. If that's not Scoot, what is Scoot?
That is not what happens.
Scoot is an invitation to everybody to scoot.
Excuse me, I can show you film of a 6-second green man to cross the Bayswater Road. So what is false about that statement?
Nothing except it may or may not be controlled by Scoot.
It may or may not. Okay.
Secondly, the minimum time for pedestrians to cross the road is prescribed by the Department for Transport, and we always abide by the minimum. In fact, more generously than that. And as I've said previously at this particular board meeting, if anybody has any specific cases of actual junctions, I'm more than happy to go and look at the particular.
Sorry, Liam, the most important point is that the green man is not the time you have to cross the road. The green man is the thing that tells you that it's safe to step off the curb. The time you have to cross the road is the blackout phase that comes after the green man. Now, to anyone who's not grown up in this country like you or me, that is extremely confusing. And I think there is an issue about people not being aware that the green man is purely saying it's now safe to leave the curb, but not to cross the road. So the time is the 6 seconds plus whatever the blackout period is.
The blackout period is another few seconds. It's still insufficient to get across many roads. And let me just ask a question.
Michael, that's a very serious allegation which we refute. We time those lights on the Department of Transport guidelines.
That's not what I'm questioning, with respect. Right? What I'm saying is if you want to also bear down on KSIs, then you may need to allow more time for pedestrians than is allowed by the Department of Transport's guidelines on the amount of time to cross the road.
If
Our
attention is drawn to crossings where that might take place, we'll go and look. We have actually fitted pedestrian countdown for the very reason of drawing to people's attention the fact that the blackout period is there to finish crossing the road and to give them some guidance about how long they've got. But the other point, which is not correct, is that we don't have any green sequences of 2 minutes, because none of the signals in London are on other than 90-second cycles, with some very rare exceptions. So, and the reason I'm being accurate about this is that we are very concerned to make sure that the way in which we manage the signals is as safe as possible. We are willing to look at any junction. In fact, we'll look at every junction that's drawn to our attention. But the fact is that actually we're very concerned to make sure that we don't mix up better traffic circulation with potential death and serious injury to pedestrians or cyclists.
To the point about reviewing junctions, in the Safety Sustainability panel I raised a question about how many teams do we have who are able to review those junctions, because there are a lot of junctions in London, many of which I believe would stand such a review, and the question is time and motion, how quickly we can get through and review them. We won't, I suspect, have the answer here, but it's a question I raised. I want to come on to...
And just to finish on the Scoot issue, we'll do 2 things. If you let us have a list of every junction that you think has inadequate pedestrian time, we'll look at them all, and we'll get somebody who does this full time to explain to you how we do that. We cannot have the allegation that we have junctions which are insufficiently timed for pedestrians without immediately addressing that issue, because that is in fact a suggestion that we're not managing the road network as safely as we can. So we'll do that as a matter of great expediency.
We shall.